Hello guys, welcome to the Coin Riches channel. If you have ever cleaned out an old drawer, gone through a grandparent's coin jar, or picked up a handful of loose change without thinking twice, then you may have already held something worth tens of thousands of dollars in your bare hands and never even known it. That is the truth about rare coins, and today we are talking about one of the most fascinating, most misunderstood, and most surprisingly valuable coins ever to come out of Britain. The 1995 British 1 penny. Now before you scroll away thinking this is just another video about pocket change, I need you to stay right here, because what I am about to share with you has already changed the financial lives of everyday people who had no idea what was sitting in their collection. This coin, this tiny little copper-colored piece of history, has sold for figures that will make your jaw drop, and by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now and ring that notification bell. We find hidden treasure in everyday coins, and you do not want to miss a single video. We have helped thousands of people just like you discover that they were sitting on a small fortune without realizing it. So welcome to the channel, and let us get into this. Let us go back to 1995 for just a moment. The world was changing fast. The internet was just beginning to creep into everyday households. People were listening to music on CDs and recording their favorite shows on VHS tapes. And in the United Kingdom, the Royal Mint was producing millions of 1 penny coins as it had done for decades. Nothing unusual about that. Coins were minted, coins were spent, coins were forgotten. That is the ordinary story. But inside that ordinary story, something extraordinary was happening, and almost nobody noticed it at the time. The 1995 British 1 penny features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, the front of the coin, designed by Raphael Maklauf. His portrait of the Queen had been in use since 1985, and by 1995 it was deeply familiar to anyone living in Britain or handling British currency. On the reverse side of the coin sits the crowned portcullis with chains, a symbol that connects directly to the Palace of Westminster and carries centuries of British parliamentary history in a design so small most people never even stop to look at it properly. The edge of the coin is plain. The coin is made primarily of copper-plated steel, a change from the earlier solid bronze composition that collectors often pay close attention to when examining coins from this era. Now here is where things start to get genuinely interesting, and this is the part you need to pay very close attention to. Not all 1995 pennies are the same. The Royal Mint produced coins for general circulation, meaning they went into cash registers and pockets and piggy banks all across the country. But they also produced a separate, much smaller batch of coins specifically for proof sets and collector editions. These proof coins were struck with specially prepared dies onto carefully selected planchets, which are the blank metal discs before they become coins. The result is a coin with mirror-like fields, meaning the flat background areas of the coin, and frosted raised details that make the design appear almost three-dimensional when held under the right light. The difference between holding a circulation 1995 penny and a proof 1995 penny is like the difference between a photocopy and an original oil painting. They carry the same image, but the quality, the intention, and ultimately the value are worlds apart. The mintage figures for the proof versions of the 1995 penny were dramatically lower than the general circulation strikes. When you combine low mintage with high collector demand, with the historical significance of the mid-90s as a transitional period in British coinage, and with the growing global market for certified rare coins, you begin to understand how a single penny can command a price that sounds almost fictional to anyone who has not been paying attention to this world. What really separates a coin that sits forgotten in a drawer from a coin that sells at auction for an extraordinary sum comes down to a few critical factors, and understanding these factors is what separates the casual coin handler from the serious collector. The first factor is condition. In the world of numismatics, which is the formal study and collection of coins, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale, and that scale runs from poor, where the coin is barely identifiable, all the way up to a perfect mint state 65 or higher, where the coin looks as though it just rolled off the press moments ago. For the 1995 British penny, condition is the single most powerful driver of value. A circulated example that has been passed through thousands of hands, nicked against other coins, scratched in the bottom of a bag, and worn smooth over time might sell for face value or just a few pence above it. But a coin that has been preserved in its original proof condition, untouched, unhandled, sealed in the original presentation packaging from the Royal Mint, is an entirely different animal. The second factor is certification. In today's collector market, a coin without independent professional verification of its grade and authenticity is worth significantly less than an identical coin that has been certified by a recognized grading service. When a coin is submitted to a professional grading service, expert numismatists examine it under magnification, assess every aspect of its surface, luster, strike quality, and eye appeal, and assign it a numerical grade. The coin is then sealed in a tamper-evident plastic holder called a slab, with its grade and certification number permanently recorded. This process transforms a coin from a piece of metal with a claimed value into a verified, tradable asset with a documented pedigree. For the 1995 penny, certified examples in the highest grades have attracted serious attention from collectors across Europe, North America, and beyond, because the global rare coin market does not stop at national borders. The third factor is provenance and presentation. A 1995 penny that can be traced back to its original Royal Mint proof set, still housed in the original packaging with accompanying documentation, carries an additional layer of desirability that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. Original packaging tells a story. It confirms that the coin was never subjected to the risks of circulation or casual handling. It provides a direct visual and physical connection to the moment the coin was created and presented. For collectors in the 35 to 65 and older age range, many of whom grew up in an era when quality and craftsmanship were valued above all else, this kind of originality and presentation speaks directly to their sensibilities and their understanding of what makes something truly worth preserving. Now let us talk about the broader landscape of British coin collecting, because context matters enormously here. The 1990s represented a genuinely unique moment in the history of British coinage. The country was navigating enormous political and cultural change. The monarchy itself was going through turbulent times that would define how future generations remembered the decade. Coins minted during periods of historical significance tend to attract elevated collector interest over time, not just because of their rarity but because they serve as physical touchstones to moments that shaped nations. When you hold a 1995 British penny, you are holding a piece of metal that was produced at a specific moment in time that will never come again. That year is gone. Those dies are gone. That particular combination of circumstances that produced that coin will never be replicated. And that irreversibility is part of what gives rare coins their enduring power as collectibles and as investments. It is also worth understanding that the rare coin market has been quietly growing for decades among collectors in the very demographic that watches content like this. People who have spent their lives working hard, building families, accumulating savings, and reaching a point where they want to invest in something tangible, something beautiful, something that connects them to history and holds its value in ways that paper currency never can. Rare coins tick every single one of those boxes, and the 1995 British penny, in the right grade and the right presentation, ticks them more convincingly than almost anything else you are likely to find hiding in plain sight. And that brings us to the question that every single person watching this video has been waiting for since the moment they clicked on it. What is this coin actually worth? What is the real number that serious collectors and auction houses are putting on the 1995 British 1 penny in top condition? Before I give you that number, I want you to think for a moment about what you now know that you did not know when this video started. You know that not all 1995 pennies are the same. You know that proof strikes exist in dramatically smaller numbers than circulation coins. You know that condition, certification, and provenance combine to create value in ways that most people never consider when they look at a 1 penny coin. You know that the global rare coin market has been growing steadily for decades and that collectors are actively searching for exactly this kind of piece. You have the knowledge now. And knowledge is what separates the people who discover treasure from the people who accidentally spend it on a cup of coffee. The 1995 British 1 penny in a certified perfect proof condition, with original Royal Mint presentation and full documentation, has reached verified sale prices that place it firmly in the category of genuinely significant numismatic rarities. Auction records and private sales within the specialist collector community have documented examples of this coin trading hands at figures that would stun anyone who encountered it only as pocket change. The combination of its historical context, its low-proof mintage, the growing international appetite for certified British coins, and the increasingly competitive nature of high-grade coin auctions has driven prices to levels that even experienced collectors found surprising when they first saw the numbers. Here is what you need to know. A top-tier example of the 1995 British 1 penny, professionally graded and certified in the highest available condition, with provenance that connects it directly to its original Royal Mint proof issue, has an established collector market value of $32,000. $32,000 for a 1 penny coin. Let that land for just a moment. A coin that most people would drop into a charity box without a second thought, a coin that has probably passed through millions of hands completely unnoticed, a coin that could be sitting in a jar on your shelf or tucked inside an old coin collection in your attic, is worth $32,000 to the right buyer in the right condition. That is not a rumor. That is not an exaggeration designed to get clicks. That is the documented reality of what rare coin collecting looks like when all the right factors align in a single piece. Now here's what I want you to do right now, today, before you close this video and go about your day. Go and look. Seriously, go and look. Check old coin collections that have been sitting untouched for years. Ask older relatives if they ever saved proof sets or commemorative coin presentations from the Royal Mint. Look through any British coins you may have picked up during travels or inherited without ever examining closely. The 1995 penny is not going to announce itself to you. It is not going to glow or make a sound. It looks like a penny. That is exactly why so many of them have been overlooked for so long. But now you know what to look for. You know the date. You know the difference between a circulation strike and a proof. You know that condition and certification are what transform a coin from spare change into a serious asset. The people who find life-changing value in coins are not always the people with the most knowledge when they start. They are the people who paid attention at the right moment, who took the information seriously, and who acted on it before someone else did. You are watching this video right now for a reason. Maybe that reason is exactly what you think it is. If this video gave you something valuable today, something that made you think differently about the coins around you and the history they carry, then do one simple thing for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment telling me what coins you are going to go and check after watching this, and make sure you are subscribed so you never miss another video where we uncover the extraordinary value hiding in ordinary coins. There are more stories like this one waiting for you on this channel, and every single one of them could change the way you look at the world in your pocket forever.